welcome to the press conference for Ultimate Glory on the 14th of March. Another fantastic Goodwin event coming up. I can't believe you just keep putting these cars together, Steve. This is just another absolutely amazing fight card. Really, really excited. So let me turn you over to our promoter for the evening, Mr. Steve Goodwin.
Well, welcome and thanks for coming to the Grand Hotel in Trafalgar Square. It's an honour for me to be presenting the press conference here, and this is quite an apt card because it's our 5th anniversary since I came into boxing and started promoting. 5 years ago, myself and my family walking around the streets of Milton Keynes putting flyers through people's letterboxes, trying to put a boxing show together, knowing nobody from boxing, with 4 fights on in Milton Keynes football stadium. It was very difficult, and in the first 6 months I wondered why we even started to do it. But now when you look back 5 years, I feel honoured that we managed to achieve what we have, and it's absolutely fantastic. Just a bit of background to what actually happened with us. I came to boxing, done the first show, and I was then asked to look after a fighter called Jose Lopez. Now at the time, I wasn't able to have a promoter's licence, so I worked with a friend of mine, James Paisley, and after about 18 months, I got Jose Lopez to 19 in the world. How I managed to do it, God only knows, because I didn't know as much as I know now, but I still managed to do that for him, and unfortunately Jose suffered an injury and didn't fight again after. I then looked after Ali Adams, and I brought over Audley Harrison from America, and Stacey Audley Harrison and Ali Adams fight at Brentwood Centre in Essex. And I think that was the time when people started to take us a bit seriously, that we would do things out of the ordinary. The problem with small hall promoting was and still is that boxers are given a pile of tickets, they're told to turn up on the day, they're told to pay the money in, and that's all the help they get. We try to do more than that, and I thought there was a gap in the market to try and look after these guys properly, build them properly, and try and actually help their careers with people that are going to do it with integrity and honesty, and I'm really proud that we've been able to do that. We've had a big team of people that have helped us do that, too many to mention, and without them we wouldn't be here today. The first fighter I actually managed is sitting here at the table, Lee Markham, and I took Lee on when he was 3-1. He's now 13-1 and going for an English title. So that means something very special to me that on our 5th anniversary, Lee Markham is headlining the bill alongside Laria Kanday. We're now the second biggest manager in the country of boxers, behind Steve Wood according to the BBBFC. And I only actually was able to get my manager's licence 2 years ago. And I promised my wife that I'd only manage 7 boxers. I tried to keep my promises, but when I got to number 7 and then the 8 to come, you think, well, if I don't do it, I think somebody else won't do it as well. So it carried on, and we're now into the 60s. You can't manage 60 boxers alone, it's impossible. People that try to do it can't do it properly, so I've assembled a fantastic team around me. I've got my son Josh, who works full-time in the boxing. He does a fantastic job for only 19 years of age. My daughter Olivia's fantastic, she does a brilliant job. And the most recent addition is Kevin Campion, who came down to Leighton Buzzard last September, moved in with his family, and he's been unbelievable, and he's helped the business grow in massive strides only in the 5 months he's been here. And without all of these people and plenty of others, you know, we wouldn't be able to achieve what we have done. Enough about us, but what we will be doing ongoing is not only will we be taking on more boxers because we can and we can do it properly, we've got the infrastructure to do it, we'll also be building our infrastructure and our team. And as time goes on, we'll be recruiting more people to work with us. We want to get good people in boxing, and we want to make a difference, and we'll be aiming to do that. And I hope that the next 5 years we grow as quickly as we have in the first 5, and then I think things are going to be great. This card is unbelievable. It's the best card I think we've staged in depth. We've got some fantastic fights on the bill, and it's going to be a very, very exciting night of boxing. We've got the 4 big title fights. We've got Lee Markham against Jermaine Smile, and I'd like to thank Jermaine for coming down from Leicester to this press conference today. It's really good of him to come with his coach Chris Pyatt. We've got Laria Kanday, who takes on Dale Evans in a British title eliminator. And when I say thanks to people, there's a lot of people behind the scenes who make things happen. And behind Laria Kanday is a fantastic man called Ben Gray from World Class Athletes. Without Ben Gray, lots of things wouldn't happen for Larry, and Larry knows that as well. Ben Gray is an absolute pleasure to deal with, and he's a credit to support boxing, and he deserves everything that he gets. We've got Johnny Garton, who I took over last October, and I promised him a Southern Area title shot, and we delivered that for him in 2 months. He beat Adam Battle, and now he has his first defence against Nathan Weiss on the 14th of March. Nathan's not here, but Johnny is. I believe there's only one winner in the fight, and the winner's here. We've also got Leon McKenzie in his first title fight. Now, Leon's story is unbelievable. If you haven't read his book, I suggest you go out and buy it. It's an inspiration. And this man is somebody that inspires me. There's not many people in this world that inspire me anymore, but Leon McKenzie is one of those. And I wish him every success on the 14th, and I pray and hope he wins and wins his first title. Finally, one of my favourite boxers to watch, who's fighting, is Smoking Joe Mullander. Joe Mullander is never in a boring fight. He's taking on a Latvian KO artist called Eduards Gerasimos, who's won 6 fights with 6 knockouts, and he's promising to knock out Joe inside 2 rounds. He's had a lot to say for himself, and I hope that Joe delivers the business. I want to introduce the rest of the table that I haven't mentioned already, and we'll start from the far right. On the far right is a flyweight who I believe will send shockwaves through boxing in the next 2 or 3 years. He may be a little hard to handle at times, but he's going to be exciting to watch. I think he's got the talent to go the whole way, and people like Charlie Edwards better watch out. His name's Prince Patel, and that should tell you everything in its own right. He's going to be stylish, entertaining, and he's got a lot to say, and I'm sure you'll hear a bit from him through this press conference. Next to him is a cruiserweight that I think could be an absolute star of the division over the next few years. His name's Jose Lopez. For those that don't know him, you will know him soon. He's 2 from 2. He is exciting in the ring. Don Charles rates him as the next David Hay, and that's no mean feat. And I believe that people such as Isaac Chamberlain and people like that are out there are the pretenders, because when Jose gets them, eventually he will surpass them. It's a big statement, but I believe that's going to happen. As I say, we've already introduced Joe. We thank Jermaine for coming, and Larry, and Lee and Johnny and Leon. At the far left is a chap that nobody will know yet, but he's going to be exciting to watch. He's trained by a man called John Cole, who has been a very good friend to me since we started in boxing. He has, in boxing, you meet people when you start. Some people, they come and go because they're not the people that, to be honest, you want to associate with. But there are plenty of very good people in boxing, and John Cole nobody knows about, and I hope one day that his talent gets the recognition it deserves, because he's a trainer that can go all the way and train champions, and I believe that he will do that. He's got Diego Burton, who's not fighting on these shows, and he's transformed him. Louis Darling has had 35 unlicensed fights, 35 wins with 31 knockouts. John Cole has taken this raw kid as a project, and the signs, I could not believe Louis today. I've seen him 2 stone lighter than I've ever seen before. And I think Louis will be a really exciting heavyweight, and I'm absolutely delighted to have him on board. I'd like to thank everybody here, and I'd like to pass over now to Brett to do some questions.
All right, we're going to start down here on the left, so if you pass the mic down to Prince Patel. Right, guys, I've been through these questions, and as I always say, these are questions that have come in online, via Twitter, via email. They're not my questions, so don't beat me up when we're done. But I'm just going to ask them as they're written. So first we'll go to Prince Patel. What I want to do is I'm going to go all the way down the table, so we'll start here. I'll ask a couple of questions, give the audience a chance to ask questions, and then we'll just move right on through. And then we'll finish up. I've got a couple of questions for you as well, Steve. So, Prince Patel, Luke from the internet says, I know you from the amateurs, and you are always in trouble with the refs. Are you going to have the same problem in the pros? I can see many refs disqualifying you.
Well, I don't know who this Luke guy is, but he knows me, so something, right? And, why would refs not like him? I'm just going to go in there, take people out, embarrass them, humiliate them, and decimate them. So why wouldn't people like me? I'll be following the rules. I won't be cheating, I won't be taking no drugs or anything. Or the people might think I'm taking drugs, by the way, I'm beating people up so easy. But it's all going to be drug-free. No rule breaking, beat-downs. Real beat-downs.
All right, again, this is not my question. From Kyle, he says, you have one of the worst haircuts I've ever seen. Where do you get your haircut so I can avoid going there?
Well, his mum told me to get this haircut, so obviously yeah, I go to a barber's in Acton, which is where I live, and it's called Regents. He obviously does a good job, because a lot of females tell me they do a good job.
Very nice. Which ones? Can you name which ones?
Which barber?
Which females say you have a good haircut?
Carl's mother.
All right. Any questions from the audience for Prince Patel?
How's your preparation been?
Inspiring yourself, McKENZIE. Yeah, we put some good rounds in. You get to see the speed and the angles. But yeah, you pushed me very well. I was inspired a couple of other people as well. Obviously, everyone has to be heavier than me because no one around my weight or even 2 weights above me can contain the power. So it has to be bigger guys. And yeah, I go through them. Just yesterday, I'm not going to name where I went, but I had to go through 7 different people, and they were getting a minute in with me. I'll just did a minute each, and then someone else would jump in, someone else would jump in. In some rounds, I refused to have a break. I was just like, yeah, continue. It was just that damn easy, because I am just that damn good. And I know no one else is going to ask me questions, so I'm just going to shoot them.
I know that you once told me on a little TV show that you intended or believed you could win world titles at 10 weights. I think we were talking straw weight all the way through low welter, if I'm not wrong, yeah? That's not the question, just checking that one here. So one thing you don't want for is confidence or vision of on best. So can I ask you what time period you see yourself ascending to world class level within?
Okay, number one, I never exactly said I would be a 10-weight world champion. I said I could see myself boxing at 10 weights because I've got the height and the frame to build myself up to it. And your question was, how long will it take me to get to like a British, for example?
Well, let's talk about world class since, I mean,
obviously I'm a little bit above British level, obviously. But obviously, providing I obviously start decimating people, which is what I'm going to do and embarrass people, I'm pretty sure Steve can finance maybe a little WBC or IBA or WBF, no, not WBF, IBF world champion to come over. I could take their belt, bring a world title back to London, and probably be the first Indian to ever win a world champion, ever become a world champion. But just to shoot now, anyways, I know no one else can ask a question. In the amateurs, I was a multiple-time national champion. I was an Indian international. I boxed for GB, I competed for GB at one point. I was the only Indian in the history of the game, and the Prince means the only Indian in the history of the game to represent GB. And I feel like people are just like, not even taking notice of me. I feel like I'm just being shifted to a corner, and I'm a super stud. Like, why am I in the corner of the president? It's ridiculous. And March 14, okay, I respect Steve for doing it for 5 years, and he's called it Ultimate Glory, and it's an annual show, it's on the Matchroom Fight Pass. But March 14 isn't Ultimate Glory, it's Prince's Glory. Because March 14 is going to be a Prince Patel night. And if I say it's going to be a Prince Patel night, it's going to be a Prince Patel night. Because all I've got, and I mean no disrespect to you guys there, all I've got to do is lace my size 6.5 Asics boxing boots. I've got to put my sexy gladiator boots on. I've got to slip my hair back looking sexy for the bitches. And I've just got to walk down into my kingdom, where the Prince rules. And I will use and abuse my opponent. And the thing, what I'm trying to get across of this is, everyone in your course, I'm not going to leave talking about an English title fight or leave talking about someone who's in a British title, eliminate. I mean this with respect, I'm not trying to shoot with anyone here. But
you're disrespecting, bro. Pass the mic, man.
I'm basically saying, people are going to leave talking about me. That's what happens. That's what's going to happen. Because I'm telling you, now I'm the future of this industry. I'm obviously not a pro fight, but I'm going to have a pro fight, and I'm going to decimate my opponent. And there ain't no restrictions now where I'm going to have a referee telling me, no, don't do that, don't drop your hands, don't put your hands behind your back. I'll do what I want to do for your entertainment. And that's it.
All right, thanks, Prince Patel. I, for one, am really looking forward to your debut on the 14th. Really
should be looking forward to it. So should everyone else. I want to say thank you to Prince Holly for the full ticket. It means a lot to me. It means a lot.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Prince Patel. All right, Jose, the look. Before we go to your questions, can I just draw everybody's attention to his picture on this poster? Brilliant. All right. First question, Asif from Luton says, I saw you fight on the Fight Pass last time, and you looked impressive. Are we expecting another explosive performance?
Well, you guys will see it. Can't promise anything. You'll see it. I'm saving it for you guys. I'll put on the show as always. So you see him like.
All right, and Thomas from Portsmouth. I see Matchroom assigned Isaac Chamberlain, but when I spoke to Steve Goodwin last year, he told me that you're a better cruiserweight than Chamberlain. Is this true?
Definitely.
A man of few words. Any questions for Jose from the audience?
Let's go.
There's a question.
No, go ahead, one back.
Jose, you are by no doubt very talented. How far do you think you can go?
I mean, well, what I hope to achieve is to become a world champion one day. And it's all down to God, man. I'll put the hard work and God willing, I'll make it come true.
Other question for Jose?
Let's hear it for Jose Lopez. All right, on to Joe Mullander. Microphone issues. Alexander's from Latvia says, you fought my friend Russian's last fight. He put you down and he lost the fight. Not correct. My countrymen will knock you out. Why would you fight another Latvian warrior?
To be honest, I'll fight whoever don't really matter to me. Steve, when we train at Jamie, tell me who to fight. I'll fight. It's as simple as that. Hopefully, he will come and knock me out, because I ain't got to go looking for him either. So, I'll meet him in the middle of the ring. That's what it is, isn't it?
All right, and Steve from Essex says, I'm a big fan of your style. How far do you think you can go in this game?
I'd like to think I can go a long way. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to be a world champion, because everyone wants to be a world champion, but I will fight the way I fight. I'm not going to try and be someone I'm not. Wherever it takes me, I'll go. Simple as that.
Any questions from the audience for Joe? All right, let's hear it for Joe Mullander. All right, next up, Jermaine Smile. Jermaine, again, thanks for coming all the way and being here at the press conference. Couple of questions, one from Twitter from David. What do you think will give you the edge in this fight?
I think speed and power. Well, I'm getting better in the gym every day, improving all the time. I think I'm just generally better fighter. But speed and power will be the edge in the fight, I think. And my fitness. And my fitness as well.
And your fitness.
Yeah.
All right, and Patrick from email says, were you surprised to get this title shot, considering you drew on your last bout and the two fights before were just routine journeyman wins?
No, I wasn't surprised. I think I earned the title shot. If anyone watched my last fight, I fought Chelo. I had him hurt in the first round. After about a minute and a half. He had a cut on top of his leg. He was complaining to the referee about that. So it was obvious they didn't want to carry on. I mean, so in my heart, I take that as a win. I mean, so I think I deserve to be here. Yeah.
All right, any questions from the audience for Jermaine?
Why is Jermaine sitting behind everybody? What is his schedule?
There's no space.
No, I told you his schedule already.
He's scared of him. He's scared of him.
All right, any other questions from the audience? Let's hear it for Jermaine Smile.
All right, moving on to Laria Kanday. All right, Neil from email says, I saw you in Prize Fighter a couple of years ago. Why have you not yet challenged for a title?
The reason being is well, I had a problem outside the ring because my daughter had a cancer. So I think that's the biggest challenge that could face. So that's the reason why I have the face. Today today we had a report from the doctor that everything is getting better now. So.
And John from Stevenage says, Dale Evans is, in my opinion, a league above you. Why would you take this fight when it's not even for a title?
People always talk. You know, everyone have their own fact. I don't know. I don't know what he's talking about, but you know, we're both fighting for something. You know, you don't have to be a title. You call yourself a fighter, fight anyway. So there's no point talking. You know, it's a fight. That's why it's called boxing. So I'll take any fight.
Tubbsy from Twitter says, are you just a hype job?
That's fine. Yeah. You know, they say that exactly the same thing to everyone. Most especially now, even for a miracle. So it's not new. As I said, everybody's got their own opinion. People have their own what do you call it? Fans. So yeah, people don't always talk. So.
Yeah. Any questions from the audience for Larry?
You've been reported as one of the most avoided men in Britain. What's it like finding it hard to get a fight?
I wouldn't say I'm the most avoided boxer in Britain. I just think boxing nowadays is a business. I'm not bringing nothing to the table. That's my manager said. And if anyone wanted to fight me, or if my manager asked me to fight anyone, if there's something to fight for, then yeah, people will turn up. But if there's nothing to fight for, what's the point? So I don't think anyone's avoiding me.
Other question for Larry?
On that note, Larry, how do you feel about the situation economically in boxing right now, whereby you've got wonderful skills, so anybody who's remotely switched on and understands the sport, you've got amazing repertoire of skills, and yet you're not particularly box office, because skills don't sell. How do you feel about that situation?
I don't know.
Skills alone don't sell.
As I said earlier, I think boxing is a business now, so yeah. It's not what you know, it's not what skills you've got, it's how many people you can bring to the table, how many people you can bring to the show. So I think that's what it is.
Speaking of people that haven't been avoiding you, can you tell me why Denton Vassell pulled out of the fight?
I think I don't know why.
He's not avoiding you.
I don't think he's avoiding.
He just lost double the money for.
As I said earlier, I think I'll bring risk. There's no point. I'll probably do the same. If I'm gonna fight someone that I think is a bit of a risk, I will have to fight for something.
You went into the prize fighting, you fought guys that were huge risks that only ever lost to world champions.
There's something to fight for.
Yeah.
So you know, prize fight is there. Everybody goes in there, and we all say we're gonna win. Everyone said exactly the same thing. Oh, I'm gonna win, you know. But the honest truth is, anyone can win it, and there's something to fight for. So I think that's the reason why.
Steve, would there not have then been a temptation to offer double the money, but only if you'd beaten Lara? You could actually put a prize fighting against.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the Cell's taken a fight on the Frampton undercard this weekend for a WBA international title. So I think when we look back at it in hindsight, I think that, although I don't know this, that we would just been used as a bargaining tool waiting for that fight, because since then they've taken that fight, and that makes more sense for Vassell to take that, because that's a fight that he's got the advantages on. I can't, the foreign opponent. So, to be honest, my concern is Larry, not Vassell, but he'll probably win that, whereas he would have lost to Larry in our opinion. I mean, my job is to try and turn Larry into box office alongside Ben, who works with him. The key is it is difficult, but he needs to gain momentum quickly, and we need to turn him into a box office star, and that's what our job is. We're doing press conferences, nobody else does them. We're trying to bring him into the public domain. He's on the Match for a Fight Pass, which is getting more and more exposure. The fight is going to be shown all over Africa.
That was my next question.
Yeah, so he's going to get the exposure in Africa from this fight. So we're creating this alongside his team. So in the end, they won't be able to avoid him. It's not about the money. It's about creating the opportunities. But we've got to look and be sensible that Larry came on board last year after a big break. He had a 6-round win. Then he had a 10-round win, and this is the 3rd fight where he's stepping up against. So we're moving in the right direction. We want to get this fight out of the way and hopefully successful. Then by the time we get to May and July, we may have a totally different story. And this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to create something here.